Welcome to Still Plays Galaxy of Heroes. We're back with Season 24, Week 2, Match 2 of Grand Arena. Last round was a loss. My opponent, Chuck, had 4 Galactic Legends, set 2 of them on defense. With me only having 1 Galactic Legend, that meant separating out my Jedi in a way to take on both of those GLs. And I did not get the RNG that I needed. Had I used Bastila lead with JML instead of JML with Watt or solely just that, I think I would have had a better shot, at least at cleaning it up. I don't think we would have, I think probably would have been a timeout. He didn't even attempt this match. We did trip him up with my Mothma team. This round, though, we have a player who plays a lot like me with Ryukyu here. He only has 1 Galactic Legend. He's done very well in Grand Arena in the past. When we look here at the hotbot, this is what it shows. He's in a larger guild, really solid lifetime banners, but lower on the clears and undersizes, which probably is contributing to that lower count on the lifetime banners. He's either getting tripped up by his opponents and not getting as many clears, only participating enough to win. Things like that is what we're seeing, or what I would speculate on. Way less on Zetas, which should give me a good advantage. Not that many more Gear 13, which makes sense for where he is with GLs, and less depth than me. Even when it comes to 6-dot mods, he has more 6-dot mods, but I have the mod advantage. Not as big as I've had in other contexts, but still in general, my mods overall are slightly better. But one thing they have on the SWGOH website now is they have this GAC bracket where it shows you everyone you're matched up with. And from the mod qualities that you can read in here, the opponent I had last round was one of the better opponents in this bracket. This guy is one of the better opponents in this bracket. He has one of the higher quality mod sets. And then Maverick, who is a 5 GL opponent, the only guy in this bracket of Kyber 2 with 5 GLs, he has really good mods. But I wonder if he's not participating, because he's really a player whose collection should be a Kyber 1 collection. So if we take a look back here at the rest of what the hotbot is stating, is he's got a much better JML, but he saves his JML for offense. He's got decent mods elsewhere, but my Padme is better. He doesn't have Maul ready. Doesn't have Moff Gideon or Echo, so he does not have depth in the places I do. It makes me wonder which characters he has geared up. He does have the better Executor, and he does set it on defense, but I think I might be okay because he puts Empire on defense, typically, and that might mess up having a better Malevolence counter to my Executor. We'll see how that plays out. The other thing worth mentioning is he has no Omicrons, which makes things a little easier to work with. Let's take a look at his defense. He was very consistent with defense. He spreads out his stuff, but favors offense a little bit. Oh, and he started going. That's nice. Okay. So let's see how we're doing. 2 shots against Bosk. This is what I was expecting. He does JTR up against Bosk a lot, and it hasn't been working out. Darth Revan slipped up. This is why I've been throwing in Darth Talon, and a lot of people have been throwing in Darth Talon. It speeds up Darth Revan and gives them a revive, a contextual revive. Hasn't attempted this team, so he doesn't really know how he wants to approach it. Although he probably should have started taking out Bam, because he's in for a surprise on my back wall. with Qui-Gon, Padme, and Grievous. So hopefully he burns some counters by clearing the top wall. My top wall, though, is weak. This is generally a pretty weak territory for me. 2 shots on Mon Mothma, 3 from Hux, and 2 from JTR. So he's probably underestimating a few of these teams because they look weaker. Or he may have been playing like I do, where I intentionally try and not use good teams on front walls so I don't get surprised on the back wall. Sometimes it costs me some battles. But I'd rather lose a battle up front than get trapped on the back wall because I used a high quality counter unnecessarily. So taking a look here, his Qui-Gon does not have the Omicron. I don't wonder if he has the Zeta. Probably doesn't even have the Zeta then, right? Oh, he has the Zeta. No Zeta. They're not good anyway. The bounty hunters are... You have to be careful with the executor level bounty hunters. Mon Mothma will just be more... We might start off with that. I think Iden Versio is a fun way to start off a video. Bottom territory here. Darth Revan. Grievous. Grievous with Watt, so we can't do Night Sisters there. Hux, and then the Old Republic. I planned this out last night, so... There's a couple things I kind of want to try out, and it looks like I have plenty of wiggle room, so we might do some weird stuff. But hopefully it'll be fairly clean. I need to create a preset for Iden Versio. So let's do range, shore, Death Trooper, snow. Death Trooper range I think they have to be there. Shore can be swapped with Storm or maybe even Magma. Snow Trooper can be swapped. But Death Trooper I find important, and Range Trooper I find pretty important. This is not... It's a high relic Mon Mothma team, but it's not a particularly troublesome one. I think we're going to hit Wedge first to stun him, but then we're going to move over to Han. We got to get the revive up pretty soon. There we go. Here's our revive. So enemies who are not buffed have their cooldowns increased, which is only going to apply to Han. I'm going to do the basic to get a daze. We don't get the daze. I'm going to go hit Han. There's a daze and a stun finally. Let's stun Lan. No, I kind of want to get an AoE. Let's stun Biggs. No, we'll take out Wedge. A lot of players will do this where they'll just put down these relic rebel fighters with a Mon Mothma, or even any team in general. You'll see relic versions of characters instead of the more synergistic characters. Like my Mon Mothma team has a bunch of Gear 11 characters, even though I have all these same fighters at relics, because the relics aren't as good as the turn meter gain of Hoth Rebel Scout, of POW. I have a 4-star Kyle Katarn on with my Mon Mothma. I've got a Gear 11 Cara Dune. The synergy is more important than these relic levels. I could probably just not get distracted and stay focused on. It's the evasion up I just don't want to deal with, is really what I'm dealing. Why I'm feeling like I should go after Lando. But if we stun Biggs, then he won't evade anymore. So let's do that. Alright, finally. Come on. I would have preferred any of the other ones to be revived. We gotta get through this. We're wasting too much time. Alright, I'm gonna do that. The mass assist would have just been a waste on Lando with the death mark. So we'll see if we get another turn. This is taking longer than some of the ones we've had in the past, but it's not really in question. And it's taking a long time more because I wasn't focusing down on some characters. I was spreading the damage around a little bit more than I usually do. But a clean high banner start. We'll come back here. It was my plan for bounty hunters is Maul, but we'll see. Let me actually, we didn't check if he's started yet. Okay, no battles there. Even though he's had a tougher go, like anyone with one Galactic Legend and is still in Kyber 2 is gonna be a tough opponent. Alright, let's just start with a solo. Let's get up the retribution. Okay. We're hit with blind right now. So we'll do an AoE. Oh, I guess we countered, so we cleared the blind. Basic, okay, we got our healing immunity, so Zelbar won't be recovering protection. I didn't think it'd go down so fast. Alright. Stop setting Old Republic on defense as soon as you can. Alright. Now my plan for this was I was going to test out Dash against Hux. It's going to lose because Dash can't do enough damage. But I want to be testing out Dash. I might do it later though, or I might hope the back wall, because he did change things up a little bit. He the Qui-Gon on defense is not what he normally does. So Old Republic are out. Bounty Hunters are there. Hux is there. Night Sisters was there. Darth Revan, Mon Mothma. There's Grievous. So I'm expecting Padme. Was there Newt up top? So he does Kylo Ren unmasked, Padme, Geos, Newt are what he normally does. All right, I have no idea what is going to be on this back wall. We're going to do Bad Batch up against Grievous because looking through all my counters, we threw gas on defense because looking at how he was playing with his Grand Arena history, I knew by throwing in gas on defense he was going to burn through some of his better counters. He tends to keep all of his good Jedi with JML instead of spreading out his Jedi like I do a little bit more. And Darth Revan I knew would be on defense, which very quickly then drops the quality of his counters a couple levels. Once you consolidate all those Jedi with JML, then you're basically at CLS, and then Palpatine and Vader, like it very quickly gets weaker unless you spread out the Jedi. So Gas was going to allow Gas and Darth Revan both being on defense was going to ensure that he burned through both of his Jedi squads on those teams, and it would have to use other counters elsewhere. And with Grievous here, which means Shaak Ti is not available to me. Night Sisters I can't use with Watt here. So even though the Bad Batch tend to be an RNG mess, unless I want to use my Jedi here, like use a JKR team, which I don't, the Bad Batch are kind of my best option. Just a long-winded explanation of my thought process for how I came to deciding to use Bad Batch here, because this was a considered thing. I thought a lot about my strategy here last night, because I want to go 2-1 this week, and starting out with a loss means I need to win these matches. Let's do that AoE, hopefully. What does this do again? This kit is so complicated. Like, this squad is so complicated. I forget all the specifics. So, Dispel and Cause. Alright, so let's... Dispel Hunter. Maybe Tech would have been better. I don't know. And this is the translation one, right? Little recovery. Let's make sure Echo's healed up. And this is the TM swap. We're going to swap with Rex so that he can put more protection on everybody, because Grievous is about to do a big hit. And we get turn meter, so let's get some turn meter. I guess we just lost turn meter too. Can we just get rid of Watt? I'm spreading the damage out. Maybe it's... Actually, I probably shouldn't. I'm playing this stupidly. I'm just misplaying this. I should have just stayed focused. And we can't win now. We lost all of our damage. We just got to use Jedi to clean this up. Alright, Jedi it is. Actually, we haven't done this in a while. This is a pretty weak Darth Revan squad. This is what I've done a number of... I'm betting he's consistent and there's nothing scary on the back wall, but this is what we're going to do here. Just a bunch of junk. No, let's throw in old Ben. No, old Ben will keep for... Bastila will keep. I need to use them up against Grievous. I'll do Luminara. Let's think. I'm going to need... Though some combination of these four for Grievous. Which means old Ben can come. Oh, I guess I could do Barriss. Yeah, let's just do that. Barriss was making me think I had Qui-Gon, but Qui-Gon's on defense. I put Jedi Knight Anakin and Yoda, Grandmaster Yoda, with my Qui-Gon, so I have Barriss available, which I usually don't. Against non-Relic 7 Darth Revan squads, you can do this. Where you just take your Jedi Master Luke, pair him with a bunch of junk, I will increase cooldowns on Darth Revan because it messes up the turn meter or the turn sequencing with him and Bastila. That's fine. It's not the most high banner thing to do, but just increasing cooldowns. There we go. It's just a cheap way to get through Darth Revan and preserve your other high quality Jedi. So you're not consolidating a bunch of Jedi under one squad. This I actually did plan for, though, in case the Bad Batch didn't work out, because I had no plan for these Jedi. They were to save me in case of surprises. So hopefully no surprises on the back wall because I'm using these guys earlier than I wanted. Yeah, I probably should have swapped with Luke just then and stunned everyone. Let's just get to work. Next turn we got our mark. I'm gonna call in Jolie to mess with the cooldowns. Mark. Come on. Die. Okay, finally. I'll make sure Watt doesn't bring him back. We'll bring our Bastila back. Stun everyone. Is there any chance at more banners? No. Okay. All right, let's see what he has for me. Oh, I still have Hux to do. Jeez. I wanted to do dash here, but I know it's going to lose. The back wall. I want more footage of dash without the Omega. But maybe with him switching up Qui-Gon, there's another team on the back wall we can use dash up against. It's just... Which means... Where's my CLS? I was going to do... CLS is another emergency team. Where am I using Night Sisters? I wish we had Nest. Let me just look at dash. The problem with the smugglers and why they should just be for defense is they just don't do that much damage. Because I would do... You're doing at least like L3 and Vandor for the survivability. Then your Cure's not a damage dealer. So I'd be looking at like... If I had a higher gear Young Han, what if I did these guys? Like I could throw in other scoundrels, but no one really offers anything. Like, what, Lando? We got other bounty hunters. Like, I very quickly have eliminated any scoundrels worth putting in. Like, Quill and IG-11, they are going to be defensive only. Really, I think if... we're going to do it. I just want to see it. Maybe if I had the Zetas on Han and Chewie. I don't even know if I have the Omegas on these guys. Because these aren't characters I use, so I very likely wouldn't have put the Omegas on. But I feel like they're my only chance of having any damage. Let's throw this here. It'll buy me some time to heal up. Like, we got to get... okay, we got our prepared back. Okay, well, that's not how that was supposed to work. Dispel, but we need prepared back from Vet Han. I mean, Vandor, what are you doing? This is why you want the Omega. Because that Omega means Vandor isn't doing this kind of nonsense. Like, who cares about the other stuff with the Omega? With, like, I think they get some extra crit stuff. It's so Vandor always is prepared. Because he's at full protection right now and is not prepared. Let's get out of here. We're just going to CLS it. I wanted to keep CLS in case Padme is on defense. I'm going to do Palpatine up against Padme, but it might go poorly. And CLS was going to clean that up. But we don't really have another... well, we could do Maul, but Maul I'm planning on using up against the bounty hunter. CLS I had in the back pocket with my plan. I still don't know if I'd rather do the Omega on Dash or Ackbar, though. Because the Ackbar one is going to be a lot more fun. Like, Dash, I think, will be very effective. It's not going to be fun. See, I hate doing stuff like this, where I just have so overpowered a team. It just feels like a waste of a squad. Alright. Give me at least Padme. I want the Padme. The other stuff, I don't care. Like Crew and Geos and Newt. Some combination. Okay, so there's Padme and Crew. Padme, Crew, Geos. Alright, so Newt's the team he didn't put down. Alright, let's just do the fun stuff. I want to test out Palpatine. I've been doing this in Squad Arena. Like, my Palpatine is way faster than his Padme. His Padme is pretty slow at 279, but she's actually very tenacious. She had us 104% on his Padme. Was I using Thrawn? I was using Thrawn. Yeah. So, the thing is just... I was trying to do this with and without Vader. At the relic levels of his Anakin, I'm doing it with Vader. So we're going to do Force Crush, jump into Merciless Massacre. We need to land these ability blocks. We got one of them. Now, in order for things to not go poorly, we need to land the stun, which we can't because she has protection up. Alright, so... we can land stuns on a couple other people though, so let's land some stuns. Only get one. I was hoping we'd get Ahsoka too. Here we go. Let's... ability block. Perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Okay. Because I don't want her to cleanse. We can... I don't care if she goes. We'll stun Anakin. And the key here is whenever Mara Jade goes, don't hit anybody you want to kill. Because Palpatine's going to assist. You know what? Let's get our free turn now. I should have hit Anakin. Let's taunt. Take out Anakin, take out Padme, and now we're done. Like, this feels nice, but the only downside is his Padme is really slow. He needs to speed up his Padme. I shouldn't have done that. I know there's no point to hitting C-3PO, I'm just buying some time. Because I wanted to get more protection back, but whatever. Alright, it'll be Night Sisters for Geos. Oh, okay. Kylo Ren unmasked. I still don't actually have a plan for. I guess maybe dash up against Kylo Ren unmasked. No, that would not have worked. Oh, this is a good team. I may have messed up. See, the thing is, because he doesn't have SLKR, I don't even know if I noticed the relic levels on his crew. Because why would you have all those relic levels on a First Order squad if you don't have SLKR? He's probably working towards SLKR right now. It probably means I'm going to try and Jawa bomb those Geos, and I'll try and use Night Sisters up against crew. Because we're using Maul here. Because we can't use Night Sisters here. We don't have our own Geos. I don't even know if the Night Sisters... I think they should be fine. I don't know if we'll win it. We should at least get it into a position where I can clean it up with, like, Aura Singh. But I know Aura Singh's not going to do it to start. Alright, offense tech or weapons tech on Canderous. Gives me 2 characters who will be stopping revives. And the way I've done this, I just focus on Bosk, because Bosk is going to start taunting at some point pretty soon. And then I'll be forced to deal with him regardless. So just staying focused early, I've decided is better. Let's do conflagration. We'll put the protection on Django. I love Relic Canderous. I'm glad I was finally able to get around to him. Because he was on my most wanted relics for like 2 years, that list. I think it was one of my earlier lists even. I'm just going after Boba because he's the only real threat. Because a Relic 8 Boba can do some serious damage. And you see the difference between my Bosk team and his is I don't use Cad Bane even though I have a Relic Cad Bane for the ship. I throw in Grief Karga. Because what Grief Karga adds is he helps get the contract off faster. Like Cad Bane doesn't contribute to triggering bounty hunter contracts quickly. Even though my Grief is only gear 11, but he starts out stealth, so you don't, unless it's in the AoE, you don't really have to worry about him being taken out. And you saw, I just ignored Cad the whole time because he's not a threat. And he's pretty fragile. But most of the bounty hunters are pretty fragile. He's actually, relative to bounty hunters, he's not fragile, but that's more because most of the bounty hunters are pretty easy to take out. But relative to other characters in the game, he's fragile. We're going to do Troopers up against Night Sisters. No, I was going to do Traya up against Night Sisters. Where was I going to do? I was going to do Troopers against Newt. I've got Traya. I can do Traya up against Crew. I can do Troopers up against Night Sisters. I can do whatever I want up against Qui-Gon. Okay, so we have a team that I didn't plan for because the new team isn't on defense. So the question is, do I think Night Sisters there's not a lot of AoEs that have single target attacks. I just think my Traya team is going to be pretty vulnerable to this Kylo team. I still want to do Night Sisters. Even though I know the Night Sisters are going to feed in a little bit to the recovery on Crew's lead. But I'm counting on the ramping damage from Rampage on Venturous to counteract that. It might take a while until we get the damage built up. But we should be good. Okay. I just want to get rid of... Can we stun him? Alright. I want to start spreading some stuns. And I'm a little worried about Sith Trooper taking somebody out until Daka gets way more health stacked. And we're just using basics and making sure we get revives and sacrifices, all feeding into Daka and Ventress. Alright, there goes Sith Trooper. Fox is the next threat. There's no need for us to revive anybody yet. It's better that they're dead. Because all that's doing is feeding into our damage. Probably should start stunning these remaining guys. That's good. That's good. Let's get rid of the advantage, because that can be a nuisance. And we need to get rid of Phasma so we don't have to worry about advantage anymore. Kylo's the next one we have a chance to easily take out. And now, so let's just... See, here's the problem. We need like a healing immunity. Or we need way more damage from Rampage. So I'm going to just auto this on basic. Because Daka will just keep... Not Daka, but Telzine will keep coming back. But you see the damage from the basic on Rampage is increasing. And at some point... There we go. We just needed to wait to the point where it outpaced the recovery from Kylo. Kylo's lead or unique or whatever it is. I should have stopped though to bring back Telzine permanently, so we would have got another banner. That would have been smart. It would have also been nice if Telzine would have finished standing from taking out Kylo. But that's more of a RNG thing. Let's see, Traya. See, I was planning on using Traya up against the Night Sisters. What am I doing against Night Sisters now? Oh, Troopers. I'm doing Troopers up against Night Sisters. All right. No, you're just gonna stealth and mess things up. All right. latest episode of Book of Boba Fett was great. I won't talk about the details. It was very good. I don't think I agree that was the best episode of the series. I still think that was episode 2 with the train heist. I do think it was by far the best directed episode. Bryce Dallas Howard just killed it. And all of her episodes, come on. These aren't even good Geos. All of her episodes of Mando and Book of Boba Fett have been some of the best stuff. Let's just do it. Like, she had I think it was the third episode of season 1 of Mando, where it was the Seven Samurai inspired one, where they were fighting, I think, with like the Weequays in the ATST. On that planet, helping the villagers. That was her episode. I think that was her first like real gig outside of like short films. I mean, she's Ron Howard's daughter, so it's whatever, but she's so much better than Ron Howard. Like, Ron Howard's a very like workman-like effective director. I was very impressed with this episode of Book of Boba Fett. Especially the first 2 scenes. The entry through the butcher shop. Or the butchery. It's not really a shop. The entry there. And then the oneer where she was following Mando as he returned the bounty. And then the unveiling. I guess I just said I wasn't going to say things. There's stuff later in the episode that I think was extremely well filmed as well. I would just revisit the start of that episode. It's filmed really well. And framed really well. In a way where it's just, I don't know, I feel like Rich Rodriguez is, he's almost like paint by numbers at this point. And I don't even know how good of a director he was to start. Because if you think about it, like Desperado, El Mariachi, like a lot of his other movies, they're not good because of the direction. They're good because, like, Desperado and El Mariachi is good because of like the guerrilla strategies of making that film, where they didn't get any permits and they just found ways with a nothing budget to get that thing done. Like, it's very impressive and informative from that standpoint. It's not like an amazingly directed thing. And then as you go through his stuff, like, he has those Grindhouse movies where that's more about the plot and subjects than it is about the direction. I don't know. I'd have to revisit all his movies, but he's more interesting for I suspect he's far more interesting for all the direction related aspects. And I think he's done like 3 of the episodes now, and just I'm getting distracted. Let's get the advantage up, get a little turn meter. Let's throw a shred over on Doc. Oh, it's not even a relic Daka. You need a relic Daka, bro. Don't even throw these guys on defense without that. Really, you shouldn't have these guys on defense anymore at all. See, the thing is, I used to really like putting... she's relic. I used to really like putting Night Sisters on defense, but now there's too many things that counter them. I gotta go let a cat in. Alright, I can do anything here. Don't drink my tea. Rebel Assault. As soon as I put that Ackbar Omicron on, Rebel Assault is dead. So let's live it up right now. This might be the last showing of Rebel Assault. Because once we... No, you know what? Let's be even dumber. Let's be even dumber. Let's do the Ackbar squad with no Omega. So we can look at more of a before and after effect of the Omega. Because I really like how that Omega sounds. I'm looking forward to putting it on. I'm actually thinking about gearing up my Bodhi. Because Bodhi, he has a nice little turn meter thing going on in his with one of his specials that would work out nice. And he has 2 non-attacking specials, which works well. But we could still be in slight trouble up against this Qui-Gon team with how dumb this Ackbar team is. So I think Stormtrooper Han, him tanking might help us out. I'm completely disrespecting this Qui-Gon team right now. Because it's, again, no Omicron. And no Zeta, because there should have been Foresight. So there's no Zeta. Let's, this is the heal, right? I just want to make sure I don't accidentally use the revive. I think let's get ourselves to an advantage first. So we're going to go after Barriss. We're going to stealth. And with the Omicron, you're going to want to have Leia and Fulcrum be the weakest. Because then they're going to be constantly assisting with every non-attacking ability. We're only going to get one of the 2 of the buffs there. It's not a ton. Could have waited longer. But I want to just get to eliminating people. And you want Fulcrum to be the other one who's really weak so that she's constantly reducing cooldowns on meditate. So between the 2 of them, they're going to be constantly getting turns and being able to utilize their specials. Like, had we had the Omicron, I would be able to use meditate right now. I'm going to take out Ayla because she's actually the most annoying one left. That's fine, we can revive Ackbar. I'm not convinced Captain Han should be part of the squad, but I like that he reduces the chances that things get messed up. Beautiful. Nice work, Ackbar. Not that that was a challenge at all. That was more about disrespecting not having the Omicron than it was anything about Ackbar. Although, a few weeks back, we cleaned up a Relic 7 Grievous using a version of that squad. Let's see how he's doing. Didn't even attempt the Executor. He should check the counters, because he could counter that if he... I suspect he hasn't looked at certain videos on certain counters. And he hasn't started back here. Okay. And then now we gotta see what kind of RNG we get on his Executor. See how clean we can handle his defense. Yeah, see, but this is what I'm talking about with the Empire. He's eating up his TIE Fighter, which we really want with that Malevolence counter. Let's get to it. Even though he had Malevolence and Negotiator, like, you can still take the Malevolence and take out one of the ships. It'll take you multiple chances to eventually beat it, but you could power through it with enough attempts. Alright. TIE Fighter and the Ebon Hawk are important to this. TIE Fighter because it's going to drive the turn meter, and Ebon Hawk with the chaff is going to make sure that we don't get a lot of target locks and work towards the Executor messing us up. Alright, targeting the Houndstooth, using the special, get the Foresight up, they do the AoE, drives turn meter to the capital ship. Fine losing that. We're going to do the AoE here. I actually don't know which one's better. If there were debuffs, I would cleanse it, but it feels like it's fine. It's fine. This is an RNG component. We take the Spy. Alright, we got Cad Bane. Okay. Houndstooth is about to cleanse, so I'll just do the basic. Sith Bomber, whatever. This is a point I haven't made in a while. Never put Sith ships, or at least the Sith Fighter and the Sith Bomber, in your reinforcements. It feels like something you should do to just fill out your reinforcement depth, and they're ships you don't really care about, so you think you can do it. They're priority or they're at least high priority reinforcements. So if you put them in your reinforcement slots, they're going to come out first, or at least earlier than most other ships, and it will mess up things. Like, really, with this Executor, he wants to have either IG-2000 or the Slave One or the Fire Spray come out, and now that doesn't happen. I'm going to bring out Ebon Hawk. This is less important because there's fewer of the ships he wants. There's fewer bounty hunter ships on the field. All right. It's too bad. All right. We have our special now. I should take him out. I'm going to hit the Houndstooth because now that Malevolence has done its thing, we can just burn through it. It's not going to get protection up anymore. Apologies, Streamlabs crashed on me, so we lost the end of that battle, but I was able to complete it. The key parts of that battle were seen, though. We got through the Houndstooth and the Razor Crest. We just had to clean up IG-2000 and that Sith Bomber. Now we'll just take out the Empire fleet with Rebels and wrap up. Let's see here. Biston, Biggs. Not that. I think our opponent is done attacking. This is probably why his banner count is lower. I'm guessing if he isn't close to winning, he's probably done attacking. And that would, over time, over those like 22 seasons we had of Grand Arena, will probably add up to a bunch of banners. I should have just focused on the TIE Bomber here to start. But we're done. Oh, my Rebel fleet could be better, but it's good. As soon as I get that Relic Biston. Still have only gone up against a Relic Biston once, and it was a memorable encounter. Alright. That wraps up this Grand Arena. We'll see. Actually, before we go, we'll see where Maverick is. We'll see if Maverick is the other guy in the Grand Arena bracket I showed at the beginning. Okay, so he's playing. Chuck is who we went up against last time. Maverick is the guy with 5 GLs. He'll probably win this, which means he'll move up. So the next round, I'm going to be facing either Mini Mike or N. Bertrand, unless Chuck loses. If Chuck loses, I'll be fighting. Regardless, I'll be fighting one of these two guys. Okay. All right, we will wrap it up there. I am putting the lowest viable teams video there, and I think the talk video on the Second Sister. Next week I'll put out a few more videos. Be safe out there, everyone. Be excellent to each other. This is Still Plays Galaxy of Heroes.